So today's topic is we are going to discuss on day 3 locators. Okay, so what is mean by locators, and what are the types of locators are available in selenium? So we are going to discuss that one, and very most important topic in selenium, and this is the basic core part in selenium. So I navigated to this application URI, Orange HRM application. I navigated, and we know how to write set of driver instructions based on ID. Okay, driver dot find element by ID you are writing. So whatever property name has been given, based on that you are writing your set of driver instruction. Just inspect, and every web element which contains ID and name. Okay, suppose, so we already know how to write set of driver instructions based on ID. So the first program I am not telling. So find element by ID you already know. Okay, and the second program, so there are 8 locators are available in selenium. Okay, locators means you can write set of driver instructions in 8 ways. Okay, so we already know how to write set of driver instructions by ID. So now I am going to tell how to write set of driver instructions based on name. So for every web element, developer is giving name as well. So if you want to write based on name, okay, I'm commenting this line. So if I comment like this line, it won't be executed. Okay, double slash means that line is in comment, it won't be executed. And if I want to write set of driver instruction based on name, I have to write like this: find element by name. Okay, see here, name ID is equal to button login. ID is equal to button login has been given, and name is equal to submit has been given. So if you will go and inspect, so name is equal to submit. So if you want to write set of driver instruction by name, you have to write submit. If you want to write by ID, you have to write button login. Okay, that's what we are discussing in last 2 classes. Okay, so there is no guarantee that our developer always will give the same name. See here, name is equal to txt username, ID is equal to txt name. So it might be developer, they will give sometimes same name as well. Okay, so based on the locator, you can write set of driver instructions. Okay, so now the second point is, so the most preferred way is ID only. Okay, whenever you are writing set of driver instruction, the most preferred one is ID only. Okay, not name. Sir, why it is not name? I want to write based on name only. Okay, so some people is asking doubt like that. Suppose in this class, okay, if I am calling Sudhakar, okay, let us assume those are 3 people are there. Okay, so 3 people are standing. Okay, and they will get confused to which person that I am referring exactly. So they will get confused. So whenever you are writing driver dot find element by name dot send keys, the driver will get confused on which text field I have to type the value. Suppose if I will call, so for every web element, developer is giving some unique ID. Sudhakar roll number is 10, and Sudhakar roll number is 20, and Sudhakar roll number is 30. So if I will call driver dot find element by ID, means roll number 10, only one guy will stand up. That means, so the unique reference for any of the web element is ID only. So whenever you are writing ID, so the web element, it will be identified uniquely on the web page. Understood, right? Suppose if I am calling Sudhakar in this class, 3 people are standing, and whenever I am calling roll number 10, only one guy is standing. So the most preferred way is to locate a web element is ID. Okay, now we understood how to write set of driver instructions based on ID and name. And third one is XPath. You can also write based on XPath as well. Okay, so I'm going to tell how to write set of driver instruction based on XPath. So let me go to XPath program. So I'm closing all remaining programs. XPath. So if you are writing by XPath, you have to write the locator name as XPath here. If you are locating a web element based on ID, you have to write it here ID. If you are writing a web element based on name, you have to write it based on name. For every web element, it also contains XPath as well. So how to identify XPath of a particular text field? How to identify XPath of a particular password? So every web element which also contains an XPath. So, so now let's see how to identify XPath of a particular text field. So to identify XPath of the particular text field, you have to right click and click on inspect. So particular web element will be highlighted here, and you need to click on these three dots. Okay. And after that, you need to navigate to copy, and you need to click on copy XPath. So you will get the XPath of that particular web element. Once once this web element got highlighted, you need to click on these three dots and copy XPath. Okay, I'm taking the copy XPath and I'm pasting here. So this is the username XPath. Okay, and second one, I want to take password XPath as well. So right click, click on inspect, three dots, copy XPath. So I'm going back to my program. And similarly, I want to know the XPath of login button. Okay, and right click, click on inspect, copy XPath. Or so I can take XPath of every web element like this. Understood, right? So that means every web element contains ID, name, and XPath as well. Okay, so here once you take the XPath, so in the XPath you can remove the double quotation and keep it as single quotation. Okay, so this is a username text field, this is a password XPath, and this is a login button XPath. Okay, what I am doing is here I'm storing into a global variables. Static string username is equal to, this is the one I'm storing. Static string password is equal to, this is the XPath I am storing into this variable. And static string login button is equal to, that is the XPath I am storing. Similarly for admin XPath I'm storing. Similarly for nationality XPath I'm storing. So like that, after because this looks like an expression format, so I'm storing this XPath into a variables, global variables. Okay, so I stored my XPath into these variables. So now onwards, okay, find element by XPath username. So this is the username I'm using. So the web element is locating based on XPath. Based on a password is locating based on its XPath. So the driver, it is locating the web element based on the XPath. Okay, so like that. So admin.click and nationality.click. So you can write set of driver instructions like that. So whenever you are writing XPath, you can save that XPath into a global variables like that, and you can write the locator name as here, and you can able to handle set of driver instructions by using XPath. Okay, so it's not guaranteed that always you need to write all the web elements by XPath only. You can write ID, name, or XPath. You can choose whatever preferred way you want to go. But order of the sequence, people will follow first ID, after that CSS selector, after that people will go with the priority as XPath. Okay, so after that I can go with name. Okay, so right, so now we understood how to write the set of driver instructions by XPath as well. Okay, suppose in your project most of the people are following XPath, you can also follow XPath technique only. Okay, right. Understood, right? How to locate the web elements based on XPath, everyone? Right. Now we understood for every web element it contains ID, name, and XPath. And the next locator is I want to tell you about link text and partial link text. Okay, link text. When you are going to write link text, see, I'm going to see the next program on link text. So let me open this link text. So here I have written set of driver by ID up to login page. Okay, and after that I am writing link text. Link text I am writing. So here the locator name I am writing as link text. So that means I'm locating the web element locator by I'm locating a web element based on link text as well. So when to write link text? Okay, so let's see that part. So I'm inspecting this forgot your password. Okay, and I'm right clicking and clicking on inspect. So if you observe here, what is the tag name it contains here? This is a means anchor tag. Okay, a means anchor tag. Suppose if I will inspect this web element, what is the tag name here? Input. Okay, so whenever you are writing link text, that tag name must has to start with anchor tag only, a only. Okay, otherwise we should not supposed to write a link text for that web element. Okay, so suppose I'm inspecting. So if you want to write the locator, if you want to use the locator as link text, that tag name must has to start with a only. Okay, so here I cannot write find element by link text dot send keys. So I cannot write because here the tag name is input. So if the tag name is input, you should not supposed to write link text. If the tag name starts with a, then only you can able to write it. So here forgot your password, just click here. So the tag name here, it is started as anchor tag and forgot your password. This is called link text. Okay, so if the tag name is a means anchor tag, and if it contains link text, just copy that one. And if you want to click on the login page, you can write set of driver instructions. 1 second. Suppose if you want to click on forgot your password, you can write like this: Control C, Control V, Control X, forgot your password, and you can write locator as link text. Because forgot your password tag name is A. If it is other than A, we should not supposed to write locator. Okay, right. The next point is, so we understood how to write the locator link text. So okay, we understood about link text locator. Okay, so when the tag name is a, when tag name is a is anchor tag, then only we will write link text. Okay, and partial link text, when to use partial link text? Suppose, okay, partial link text means, so I can write the same locator name by using partial link text also. So the locator name, it will write like this. Okay, suppose in partial link text, you no need to write complete description. You can write some partial text. Based on some partial text also, the driver can able to locate that link text. Okay, so you no need to type complete information also. And in the link text and partial link text, the common point is the tag name must has to start with a only. Okay, that is the common point. Whereas whenever you are writing link text, you have to write complete text. Whereas in partial link text, if you are writing complete text also, that's fine. But the purpose of partial link text is to, based on some partial link text also, the driver can able to locate that information. Understood everyone? So that is the main difference. 1 second. So now we understood when to write link text and when to write partial link text. Okay, and I want to give you some more example here. No, you have to write first word on. So in partial link text, you have to write the link text whichever it is starting, that some partial of the text if you are giving, based on that text, it's locating that link text information and it is finding. Okay, sir, when I have to go with the link text and when I have to go with partial link text, exact difference the people are asking in the interviews. Okay, and I will tell you one example. After that, you can tell me. Okay. One guy is writing, so you are automating a Gmail application and he want to click on inbox. Okay. One guy is writing line number 29 and one guy is writing the approach as line number 30. Okay. So which is the most preferred way here? So which locator I have to use it? Linked text or partial linked text? Suppose if I will use linked text line number 29, okay, that program it will be executed on the same day itself. But if I will execute the same program by next day, okay, my program is getting failed because in my inbox, my count is updated to inbox of 140. Okay, the driver cannot able to locate those web elements inbox of 140 because you have given complete text. So the driver could able to locate it or not, because that web element property has been changed. That web element information has been changed. The linked text information has been changed. So, is this guaranteed that will execute all the times? But another guy has written this like this. So is this line of code it will execute all the times? Okay. So that means, so which is the most preferred one? Line number 32 is important. Okay. So summary of this two lines is, if the link text is static, okay, if the link text is not at all changing, then we can use link text. Okay. If the hyperlink is not at all changing and it is static and fixed, then we can use link text locator. But if the hyperlink is dynamically changing, okay, every time and every hour or every minute or every 1 hour, if the hyperlink text information is changing, then which is the most preferred one? Partial link text. So summary is, if the hyperlink is dynamic, I can use partial link text. If the hyperlink is static, I can use link text. So in this case, in my web application, so this is a static hyperlink or dynamic hyperlink? Static. It won't change. That link text is always fixed. It won't change. Suppose in my book my show application, available seats are 36. That is the link text. So is it a fixed one or is it a dynamic one? Why? Because the available seats count is changing on every 1 hour. So it's a dynamic hyperlink. So there I have to write partial link text. So how I will write available seats, and whichever part is dynamically changing, I won't write that information. Understood, right? And you have placed 50 orders in a insurance application, and orders count is 30, it's reflecting, and you want to click on that button. Orders of 30 you have written. So link text or partial link text, which one I have to click? Which one I have to use? Partial link text.
Partial link text.
Because the guy is placing continuously some new orders, and every time that order count is increasing. So that means simply if the hyperlink is dynamic, we have to write partial link text, and whichever text information is changing, that part we have to omit it. Okay, you should not supposed to write that information. Okay, so while writing partial link text, so whichever part is fixed, that part you can write it and you can able to locate that one. Okay, so summary of the thing is, for static hyperlinks, we have to use link text, static hyperlinks. And here dynamic hyperlinks. So dynamic hyperlinks. So in the link text and partial link, text, what is the common point? The tag name has to start with A. That is the common point. If the tag name is not A, I should not supposed to write it. Got the point, everyone? Right. So now we understood how to write the locator link text and partial link text, and when to write partial link text also we understood. Okay, whenever hyperlink is changing continuously, then I can go with partial link text, and whenever link text is not at all changing, then I can use link text. Suppose in my application, I clicked on admin and I am navigating to admin 123 and I'm clicking on login button. So this is an admin. So I'm right clicking and I'm inspecting. So here, see, if you observe, this is an admin. This is, so the anchor tag, it was started here, and the anchor tag, it is ending here. That means this link text is available within this anchor tag. So you can write link text here, because this is the anchor tag, it is available. So this is the starting of the anchor tag, and this is the ending tag of anchor tag. That means this is a link text. And similarly for nationalities, let's go and inspect nationalities. So here, that nationalities information is available within this anchor tag, and it is closing here. So this is called link text. So so nationalities is a hyperlink. Do I need to write link text or partial link text? Why partial link text? How it is changing? Tomorrow nationalities menu will be changed or not? How it will be changed? There is no count value in that one. It doesn't contains any counter value. Suppose nationalities of 123 something is there. Is it there? No. So we should not supposed to write partial link text. We have to write link text, because those are menus only. If you log in after 10 days also, the menu name will be nationalities only. Even if you are logging for 110 years also, the menu name will be nationalities only. Okay. If it is changing every hour, every 1 hour, or next day, if it is changing, then we can call, then we have to use partial link. If it is not at all changing, then we have to use link text. Okay. So now you can tell me qualification and skills. I'm clicking on skills. So skills. So do I need to write link text or partial link text? Huh? Why I have to write partial link text? See, these are
Link
menu
text.
operations. See, menu operations. Here it won't change at all. Okay, the menu operations, it won't change at all. I can write link text only. Even if you log in after 20 days also, that is fixed only, that hyperlink. Okay, suppose, what are the examples for partial link text is, so like this. In my book, my show available seats, it is showing like this, and available seats 142. Okay. And here the tag name, what you need to write. So orders of 123, inbox of 143. Okay. And pending orders 125. So in this case, all these link text is a dynamic. It is changing every time. But on particularly on menu operations, does it changes or not? Understood, right? So we need to understand that point. Okay. If the hyperlink is static and fixed, can you guys, can you please go on mute? It's disturbing me. Okay. So if the hyperlink is fixed, I have to write link text. That's it. If the hyperlink is dynamic, I have to write partial link text. So generally partial link text, that occasion it will come only if the link text is changing only. Generally in this menus, it won't change at all. So so we can write, suppose I want to click on general information. Do I need to write link text or partial link text? Clear to everyone? Okay. So here I want to click on licenses. So does it changes or not? It's a link text. If it contains some number value or something, it is like that, then you have to write partial link text. Okay, because if it contains number, means that number automatically it will updated and increased, and the counter value will be decreased. So like that. But suppose in your inbox mail you have deleted 100 mails, and the inbox it contains 50 mails on, because you are locating that in locator based on partial text. So obviously it can be identified. Hope everyone understood the difference between link text and partial link text. Common point is the tag name must has to start with A. Right. So now we are going to discuss about CSS locator, CSS selector. Okay, now let's go to the next program, CSS selector. CSS selector. So every web element, it also contains some CSS selector property as well. Just like web element contains ID, name, and XPath we understood. Okay, but link text and partial link text, it is no guarantee because it depends on the tag name. Okay, and but every web element, it contains some CSS selector property. Okay, so I let me know what is the CSS selector of this web element, and let me know what is the CSS selector of this web element, and let me know what is the CSS selector of login button. So how to check the CSS selector of a particular button? So that if I will know CSS selector, I can use the locator name as CSS selector. Okay, so I'm going back to here, right click and click on inspect. Okay, no need to inspect, just you can click on inspect. After that, you can click on this mouse icon and keep the mouse over on the particular web element. Are you able to see input has txt username? So that is the CSS selector of that particular web element. And I'm keeping the mouse over on another web element. What is the CSS selector of that particular web element? Input hash txt password. What is the CSS selector of that one? Input hash button login dot button. So like that, every web element, it contains some CSS property. Okay, so based on that web element, I have written. So CSS selector property I'm storing into here, just like XPath. I'm storing into here username, password, and I'm writing like this. And if you want to write directly, you can write within the double quotation. Okay, the most preferred standard way is you need to declare CSS selector property into a variable, and you can use that variable like this. People can write this approach or this approach. The most preferred approach is like this one. You can write it. You can store that CSS property into a variable, and you can use that variable. So that so if you want to write direct value, you can write it within the double quotation. Understood, right, everyone? So like this, we can locate the web element based on its CSS selector as well. Okay, so we understood we can able to locate the web element by ID, by name, and by XPath, and by CSS selector. So every web element contains these properties: ID, name, XPath, and CSS selector. Okay, so we can write set of driver instructions in any of the way. I'm not telling you can use this one only, you can use this one only. Sir, why these many types selenium has given? Sometimes whenever if driver dot find element by ID, it's not work. Suppose in a class there are 3 people are there having name as Sudhakar. Okay, and the guy is writing driver dot find element by name. Okay, and the developer has not given ID also. Okay, so there will, so whenever you are executing your set of driver instruction, driver will get confused on which web element having name Sudhakar I want to click. So the driver will get confused because 3 people are standing. When I'm calling Sudhakar having name as Sudhakar, 3 people are standing, and I am getting confused to whom I need to refer. So in this case, you can try with alternative locator as XPath. You can try some alternative locator as CSS selector. So in such case, that web element will be identified uniquely, and your web element operation, click or send keys operation, it will work. So that's why Selenium has given writing of set of driver instructions in n number of ways. That's why this concept we can call it as a locator. Locating, driver is locating a web element based on ID, based on name, based on XPath, based on CSS selector, based on link text, and based on partial link text. Understood, right, everyone? Okay. So everyone is clear about the CSS selector now. Okay. And what is the advantage of CSS selector is, if you are writing, if you are locating a web element based on CSS selector, that web element, it will work on all browser combinations. It's not like that id it won't work, sir, in all browsers. Yeah, it will work. Okay, name also it will work, and XPath also it will work. And CSS selector, if you are writing CSS selector, this line of code, it will work on Chrome browser, it will work on IE browser, it will work on Firefox. Sir, then why you are telling explicitly the CSS selector is working in all browser combinations? So I can write any of the locator. So that is the question I have, you have. Okay, so why I am telling means that people will use in real time, most of the people will use to locate the web elements, people will use id, XPath, and CSS selector. Suppose the guy has written an XPath, he has written some 5 set of driver instructions by writing XPath, but that script is working fine, perfectly working fine on Chrome browser, and your manager or your team lead asking to execute same lines of code on Internet Explorer. There might, so the XPath's 3 web elements got successfully identified and send keys operation it has been performed. But on 4th web element and 5th web element, the guy has written XPaths only. But on the 4th web element, the XPath it is not locating correctly. Okay, but XPath will be same in IE and for Chrome and Firefox. If it is working fine in Chrome, it has to work on IE browser also. But in IE browser, it does not contain any XPath engine. Okay, sometimes there is no guarantee. So out of 100%, 95% of the XPaths it will work, it will be located by IE browser automatically. But 5 to 10% of XPaths cannot work on IE browser. So to work on all browser combination, the most preferred people will use CSS selector. Okay, that means CSS selector strategy, it will work on all browsers combination. But XPath, it might not work. 95% it will work, but there might be a chance 5 to 10% of the XPaths which cannot be located, and might be your script will work on Chrome browser, but it will be failed on IE browser, because IE browser doesn't have inbuilt native XPath engine. So it cannot able to locate some of the XPaths. So to work your set of driver instructions on all browsers, the most preferred is you can write CSS. So for those 2 web elements, you can write CSS strategy, so you can able to handle it. Understood, right? So whenever you are telling in the interviews what are the types of locators that you have to tell the sequence like this: ID, CSS, next second is CSS selector, and XPath. People will use this, people will follow this approach on in the real time: ID, CSS selector, and XPath. And after that, you can go with the name. Understood, right? So most probably we can use these 3 locators on. Okay, right. How much time we have left? Okay. So total we are having 8 locators: ID, name, CSS selector, XPath, and linked text. So remaining 2 locators I can cover it in tomorrow's class. I'm closing the session for today, and we can continue sessions and day after tomorrow onwards. Okay, make sure that everyone payment has been completed, and day after tomorrow's class is installation. If installation is not completed, you cannot able to progress your topics on the same day itself. Okay, so once installation is completed, we can do all these labs whatever I have told you. These all labs we can finish it in next 2 classes, and on daily basis you have to complete your labs on same day, and myself and Aruna will be here, and we can coordinate. Wherever you got stuck, we can help you. Understood, right? So that's it. And so we already shared payments and everything, and our team is reaching you regarding the payments confirmation. So on Monday, so on Thursday onwards, we are not sharing link into January 20th batch, and we have created new batch. January 20th new batch WhatsApp group has been created. So payment whoever is completed, we are adding those people. Okay, so that's it I want to tell. Okay, so make sure your payment has been completed by today itself, and all your 45 labs and 50 labs it will be installed on your system, and you can create your own packages and you can do your own programs. The easiest course is Selenium only. Okay, and so and we can make sure after completion of this course you can able to automate